What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hobo here. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Today we are here to give you the weekly recap, but I'm not here alone because today I have the one, the only, the Iron, the Flashing, the Gaming.
Hey, what's up, guys? IronFlashGaming here, also known as Zazo. So we got the Zazo and Carney gang repping this seasons of the weekly recap, and it should be very fun. Side note, one of us is wearing pants, and it is me. So take that for what it is.
I mean, it is the Zazo and the Hobo show. I'm just saying, but your name does go first. Also, quick disclaimer, guys. I think we're going to be the first one to officially say this, but we are in war. The other NPL and us NPL people have basically declared war against each other, and we're going to see who wins. I really hope the NPL wins, but I don't know. What do you feel about that, Zazo?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be in that. It's kind of like a little tournament to an extent because it's not a full season. So what's going to be going on, we'll have our own exclusive video explaining a little bit more and how that goes. But let's just say our NPL players are going to dominate the other NPL, especially their champ, man. It's going to be good with the games. So yeah, definitely should be fun.
Yeah, so guys, get ready for a lot of lube, because we're just shoving it right up in there.
Yeah. So make sure everybody to check out the NPL Wars, and that will be in the link down below when it is uploaded. So yeah, all right, let's look at game one, man.
All right, let's hop right into game one, and this game was a very nice game. We have Matty Brawlick in the St. Louis Restaurants versus Palm Man and his Brisbane Braylooms. So, basically, Matty brought Mega Gardevoir, Acelgor, Drudigan, Donphan, Magnezone, and his own self, his spirit animal. He brought Infernape to the field. Meanwhile, the Brisbane Braylooms, coached by Palm Man, he brought the Dongzong, the I'm a star, not you. He also brought Raikou, big, fat, juicy Cresselia with a little bit of Sneasel on the side, and then I guess he smokes 3 packs a day because he brought Weezing. This match was a very hacksful match, as Palm first just starts haxing out Matty, but out comes Matty's waifu, Styx, from the Token Minorities. This is the only time I'm going to be praising Styx about something on this video, and basically Styx is able to eat up hits for days. He does get a wee bit of that special attack drop, but he is still able to go through and clean up the game. So Styx, congratulations, you won your first game of Pokemon in a long time, and I hope it was a good one, being out there on the field. But barring that, I believe that this match is over with, and Matty won. So do you have anything to say about this, my boy?
Yeah,
Zazo?
it was honestly the best comeback I've ever seen in my life. It was Mega Gardevoir versus the world, 4 against 1, and so all he had to do with his Mega Gardevoir is not get hacks, and he won. So there was, I believe, a special defense drop. No, special.
It was special
attack
drop
or something.
Yeah.
And there was also the last turn of the game, which kind of decided what was going to happen. It was Mega Gardevoir after plowing through his team versus a Sneasel. If the Sneasel ended up getting the flinch, then Palm Man would have won, and we saw that Matty Brawlick came through, hit the Hyper Voice, and won the best comeback I've ever seen in League format. So that was definitely a good game to start off the season.
Yes.
Yeah, so now we're going to be rocking into the game 2. So we have the Arizona Cardinals, Carvanas, with Garchomp, Togekiss, Mega Pidgeot, Jirachi, Blastoise, and Snorlax versus the Phoenix Sunkerns with Kyurem Black, Mega Blastoise, Talonflame, Klefki, Dugtrio, and Tyranitar. So we already know how this little gang goes with Togekiss and Jirachi, and we initially see in the very beginning of the battle Togekiss giving a lot of problems to the Sun Currents with the Thunder Waving and Air Slashing. But another thing that I noticed immediately from Team Preview is Garchomp hits everything for, I mean, almost Oko's his whole team, as his Dragon immunity is the Clef Key that gets one shot by the Earthquake, and his ground immunity being Talonflame. Shockers, spoilers, the Garchomp is carrying Rock Slide, and that actually plays a somewhat pivotal moment, because there was a moment in the time where it was Garchomp versus Talonflame. Garchomp using Rock Slide. He didn't use Stone Edge, he used Rock Slide so he would hit, and unfortunately he missed a Rock Slide. But it did not cost him, because between Togekiss being able to be especially defensive, taking hits from the Mega Blastoise, and slowly chipping away at his team, having the Mega Pidgeot late game sweeping finished up the match. So I guess the Sun Currents, what they could have done a little bit differently is Kyurem Black is an absolute monster. As we all know, there's no such thing as a Kyurem Black switch-in. So maybe using lead Kyurem Black and just clicking Ice Beam and Earth Power and Outrage or Dragon Claw and really punish the Arizona team. So definitely a good game. And yeah, so let's rock into Game 3. So what do you think of Game 3, man?
Okay, so Game 3, the Austin Tauruses versus the Los Angeles Nidokings. Now, this is the new champion of the GPC versus a former champion of the NPL, and this was straight up stally as heck. Okay, honestly, guys, if you really want to watch something and take a little nap, come back and be like, oh, they're still playing, take another nap, go make a sandwich, and just have fun, playing on your phone for a while, and then looking up and like, oh, okay, finally I'm on dropped. This is the match for you, basically. Austin Tauroses, they brought Latios, Seismic Toad, Arcanine, Florges, Galvantula, and Braviary. And the Los Angeles Nidokings, they brought my boy Crobat for the win. Renewiclus, Kangaskong, Mega Ad, GG Ron, Volcanion, and Crocodile. Now, the match does go in a 2-0 favor into the Austin Taurus' hand, but early through the match, it was just pretty stally until Braviary basically took control and destroyed the Mega Aggron before Mega Evolving. After that, a couple more turns go by, and everything's basically stalling each other out. The Taurus has brought a special defensive Latios, so it wasn't hitting as hard, and Volcanion wasn't doing as much because it was being checked by a lot of things, and basically it all came down to, does Braviary win the game? And it does, because it was Scarfed versus I think it was also Scarfed Crocodile, but the Crocodile was adamant, not Jolly or whatever it was, and Braviary was able to clean up the game for a 2-0 victory in Austin Taurus' favor. I personally did enjoy this match a little bit, but that Kangaskhan set with just Toxic Wish, Protect, and I think it was Body Slam as the last move. That set that took me for a loop there, Danza. But I'm rooting for you though. Week 2, hopefully you would do a whole lot better. Also, Rob, good game on the win. Hopefully you lose week 2.
Yeah, so these guys are both proven champions, and so it was definitely a very good match. But there was a lot of things that Danza kind of had me scratching my head. For example, the Kangaskhan. It's a cool idea, but what ended up happening was you used a win condition being Reuniclus that could have late game swept, but because of PP and I believe it was not Magic Guard limiting the Reuniclus
Another thing is you could say in theory that Danza did lose a 50-50. Was Braviary going to go for Brave Bird? Was it going to go for Superpower, predicting the Mega Aggron? But in my eyes, you never really risk your only flying resist, or else you're going to lose into a Braviary. So if you were to Mega Evolve earlier in that game, it can the Mega Aggron can easily live the superpowers, but because it was not Mega, because it does not, it was a 4-time super effective hit instead of the filtered super effective hit, that did play a role, but nevertheless, it was still a very, very good game. Okay, so the fourth game this week is going to be the Detroit Lightbirds rocking with the Noivern, Thunderous Eye, Kinkeldurr, Mega Glade, Tentacruel, and Celebi versus the Jersey Dweebles with the Dragalge, the Shaman, the Cofagrigus, the Mega Tyranitar, Gardevoir, and Kyurem. Immediately, I really like the Dweebles team. There's something about Dragon Spam, especially from the Dragalge and Kyurem, because they're not Mono Dragon. They're Dragon Poison, so Poison being able to hit the Dragon, the Fairy types for super effective damage, and then Kyurem, Ice being extremely hard to switch into in League format. But that's not what we saw this game, being the devastating power of the two dragons. We didn't see a single kill from either of those two dragons. And if you look at the Detroit Lightbirds team, what 6 mons they brought, they had 0 dragon resists. Dragalge's role in this game was to deal with the Thundurus, and I understand Thundurus can be very scary, very fast, because it does have the Nasty Plot ability, and it has coverage that is absolutely insane. But once again, Choice Specs Dragalge doesn't need to be Black Sludge. You just need to be Choice Specs. You're still able to live 2 HP ices, and every single time you come in and you click Draco and you get a kill. But the best part about this match, this series of plays was just very fun. This is one of the most fun things about League formats, is that you see things that are not in League, that are not in standard play, that you see in League play. So it was the Mega Tyranitar being threaded that it is. Goes for a superpower, predicting the Kinkeldurr to go, because the only thing that really checks the Mega Tyranitar on his team is the Kinkeldurr, so he predicted, the Dweebles predicted him to go into the Kinkeldurr, and then this is where one of the most coolest things I've ever seen happen in League format. Kinkeldurr goes for a knockoff later during the next series of turns. It was Kinkeldurr versus now Cofagrigus. Kinkeldurr uses knockoff as Cofagrigus gets his item knocked off, which is weakness policy, which then activated a +2 special attack, and Cofagrigus went for a Trick Room. That series of plays devastated the Lightbirds from being able to come in because of the Psychic and Shadow Ball coverage being able to hit everything on the Detroit Lightbirds team. Very exciting match. So what'd you think about that match, man?
Oh my lord. When I saw that play where he went straight in with the weakness policy to Cofagrigus, I told him that there was a slight chance that it wouldn't work, but he played his cards right, and basically that Cofagrigus that just bing bopped, mollywopped, and cleaned up the game, basically getting rid of half the threats. And then I am a monograss type player, but seeing Shaman kill like not just 1 mon but 2, that's weird. That's weird. That should never happen. Papa Cloud, please, you need to be nerfed. Please, we need to nerf Cloud right now. But barring that, there was another play I thought was pretty weird going through, and that was staying in when the Gardevoir scarfed. I'm talking about when Thunderous Eye, Incarnate, was out against the what's the heck it's called? I'm trying to look for the nickname. I'm sorry, guys, but basically Gardevoir was out against it after taking a Moon Blast and seeing that it did almost about 72% popped that citrus in, but then you still stayed in. For what reason? I don't know why Cypher did not just go straight in for the T-Wave there, slow this thing down, and then, you know, it would apply a little bit more pressure onto his team, because Noibat is a threat to him, depending on if he did have the Focus Blast, which I strongly do think it gets. I could be wrong right now, but barring that, it was a very good game. Papa Cloud coming in with those moist sets, and I'm really feeling it.
You used the word moist. That's disgusting, man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What should I used?
Moist set's fine for now. So we're gonna move on to the next game, and the thing about this next game is there's this guy named Gypsy King, and there's another guy named Rizzy Powell. These are two new members into the NPL. And so one of them, being Rizzy Powell, is an established YouTuber. He has a decent size of subscribers, and he's been in leagues, and he's somewhat proven. And in March Madness, he ended up giving the work to Dylan, Gypsy King, Sydney Sharpedos. So there's a little bit of a grudge match in this. But the flip side here is Gypsy, Dylan, is also very established in league format. He's in the underground, and in my opinion, he is a sight to be reckoned with this season. So, Sydney Sharpedos has the Emboar, the Mega Pinsir, the Weavile, the Stunfisk, the Almamola, the Mew, and the Phoenix Sunkerns has the Bisharp, the Tornadus,
they are the
Jolteon,
Sunflowers, man.
Scolpede.
You should never never say that they're the Kerns, man. Come on now.
He's the Sunflowers. I apologize. Team Sunflower over the Kerns. Jolteon, Scolpede, Diancie, Shots Fired, and Mamoswine. So this match is very good to watch for people that are trying to get into leagues, because immediately you saw Weavile versus Tornadus, turn 1. Now most players would easily Icicle Crash the Tornadus, but Dylan, Gypsy King, had a dedicated switch into Tornadus, which is the Stunfisk. So Tornadus ended up being Yachi Berry and would have easily killed the Weavile if it did decide to stay in. And from there, Dylan put the pressure on with the Stunfisk, man. Stunfisk guy, I don't know if you guys know, it is power. It is the powerhouse. You guys will find out power. And he was able to, discharge and earth power, walling things like the Tornadus and Jolteon. And so Jolteon, the Tornadus was able to start toxic stalling. Jolteon later came in and used a crit HB Ice on the Stunfisk, and eventually Mew. So it was Mew versus the. It was Mew versus Jolteon, and that was very interesting matchup because Jolteon ended up getting a sub, and he sub-baton passed into a Bisharp, but there was a pretty nice prediction on the Sharpedo's end, going for a Psychic, going for an Aura Sphere, not for a Psychic, predicting the Bisharp. And there was another very good play by the Sharpedos, which was so the Emboar ended up being Shukaberry, which reduces the ground type attacks. So it was Mamoswine versus Emboar. Mamoswine going for an Earthquake. It was not enough, and Emboar ended up getting another kill versus the Mamoswine. And from there, the Mega Pinsir ended up cleaning up the game. It was a very fun match, and yeah. Your thoughts?
Mega Pinsir. GG.
Enough said.
Dylan. Also, Rizzy sucks. Team Kern all the way. So, barring that, let's get right into the next match. Our next match is Bidoof and his Bidoof and his Boston Bidoofs. And the top tier boy himself with the Florida Alligators. This match was a very close nail-biter 1-0 matchup for the Bidoofs winning. It was a very cool matchup. I actually kind of liked some things about this matchup. I do like Bidoof's nicknames, by the way. Gothtel, ban me? Yes, please. I don't understand why we didn't ban you. Things like Mega Beedrill's nickname, BRB. I love nicknames. Definitely Bidoof gets Beck's nicknames under my category this week, if that's possible. Yeah, I don't know if we're doing that or not. But then I love top tier boys. You know, such a drag. Shikamaru reference for the English dub, if you guys understand. But this is a really good matchup. Basically, top tier boy brought Gastrodon, Mega Man Electric, Skarmory, Uxie, Digger's Beedo, and Clefable, as Jolt didn't get Clefable this year. Thank the Lord, hallelujah, sweet be Jesus. And then the Bidoof got Mandibuzz, Goodra, Gothitelle, Chandelure, Mega Beedrill, and Leavanny. And this matchup, like I said, was a really cool matchup. Basically, Leavanny leads off, gets up, you know, sticky webs, tries to apply pressure early on, and Skarmory's like, nah, we ain't having it here, defogs everything away. And then basically from there, Bidoof basically took momentum because he was making very good plays. He went into Gothitelle on the Gastrodon and basically was like, hey, catch this energy ball real quick. Gastro, being as Mastro as he is, was able to take it, but not that well, actually, and it just died off. It couldn't help it. I mean, it's a Gastrodon. And then from there, Bidoof was just basically picking and choosing which mons that get kills. But last but not least, his last mon standing was Mandibuzz when it took down the Mega Manectric after consuming its Walkin' Berry for the win. It was a very close match, and I believe it's very beautiful because Barry Manilow is a beautiful man, I think. I don't know for sure. I don't know. I'm bad with names.
I'm still laughing at the Astro Natural stick. Like, who says that? But it was a very well-prepped Mandibuzz, which ended up allowing him to take the hit from the Mega Manectric, because Mega Manectric is a very good win condition, but it was not enough because the Mandibuzz being able to win the late game T-Bolt came through, and that was a very fun match. So the next game, yeah,
like Mandibuzz, man, it's just fat.
Yeah, Mandibuzz is a very fat mon. So the next game we have.
I'm gonna keep cutting you off now, man. I'm just gonna point out, I like how Mandibuzz and Braviary both put in work in their games, respectively, and they came from the same generation on 2 different games. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. So the next game we have the New York Metangs, being Ferrothorn, Blaziken, Licky Licky, Tornadus, Megalodios, Azumarill versus the San Antonio Swampers with the Suicune, Tyrantrum, Alakazam, Mawile, Heliolisk, and Mega Lopunny. This was a bloodbath, and here's why. It was turn 1, Tyrantrum versus the Ferrothorn, which is, you know, arguably Tyrantrum does a very, very poor matchup versus the Ferrothorn, and because Tyrantrum does have the Fang, whatever the Fang ability is, ended up going for a Fire Fang versus a Ferrothorn, as the Ferrothorn ended up going for a Thunder Wave. The thing is that the Fire Fang on the Ferrothorn ended up being a crit burn, which allowed the Ferrothorn to go down early, which meant that Suicune went in. From there, it was an interesting Suicune set. It was Calm Mind, Scald, Ice Beam, and Substitute. And it was actually very speedy as well, because the New York Metangs had a Megalodios that did not speed creep for the Suicune. So the Suicune ended up going behind a sub, set up Calm Minds, and ended up sweeping
whole team, and that's as simple as that. Now, it really sucks that the Ferrothorn went down early and it got burned and it got crit. So definitely unfortunate from there. But I guess maybe for future references, make sure to do proper speed tierings with the Latias, even though you don't commonly see something as a Suicune. And I also understand why he didn't have a lot of speed on the Mega Latias, is because you needed to be defensive because he's got a Mega Lopunny. But, he can't prepare for everything, and Suicune ended up coming through, and it was a bloodbath, to say the least.
Yeah, my boy Razor, this is a very bad loss for you. I'm really hoping that next week you can put in some work. Hopefully that it works out. But early game hacks on a Ferrothorn, I know, I feel the pain. At least you can think on the bright side. He didn't get crit plus burn plus flinch, because Fire Fang, it's able to do all three and everything. But Licky almost came through though. It walled Suicune for like a wee bit, but sadly the Suicune was too overpowered. And definitely, like what my boy Zazo said, if you're gonna bring something, try to speed creep. I understand that you had to go basically defensive this week because of Megalopunny plus Heliolisk. There we go. That's how I properly pronounce it. And everything, but you needed at least 2 checks per mon, as I like to say when I team build. I like to have at least 2 checks, so try to keep that up. But the Blaziken kill on the Tyrantrum, good job. And why don't we just hop into the most hyped up game this week? And guys, get ready, because there's about to be a fire, because we're about to roast some people in here, okay? The last match was going to be the Atlantic Brave Aries versus the Toronto Star Raptors. Trev the King, who was able to hack his way to victory last season, versus the wannabe champion Jolt. And oh my lord, this game was so one-sided, it wasn't even funny. Literally, it was like, hey, guess what? I got some eggs over here, or I got some bacon over here. Everybody goes for the bacon. I don't know anyone that loves eggs that much, but basically Trev brought Entei, Escadrille, Megaladios, Fletchlinger, Sharpedo, and Aromatisse, while Jolt brought his spirit animal, basically Lucario, Azelf, Sylveon, Salamence, Empoleon, and Mega freaking Venusaur. Now, if you guys don't know, Jolt does have some previous experiences using things like Mega Venusaur plus Empoleon. I think that currently it was back in Season 3 when he had that core, and he put in a lot of work with that. Lucario is just very good offensive mon, and basically Jolt was able to win through a very manhandling series of plays. Basically, Sylveon was able to set up Calm Minds, and once things like the Excadrill and the Entei were gone, Sylveon just basically swept up and cleaned up the rest of the game. I do have one tedious thing that's like really bothering me, as the only grass type being in Mega Venusaur goes down on Jolt's team. Like, Jolt, you need to learn that Mega Venusaur needs to be treated correctly, properly, and care. Obviously, Sticks can put in work in this format, but I don't know about you handling Mega Venusaur the right way. This is actually just all lighthearted. I don't know if you can't tell the sarcasm from my voice, but please, Jolt, learn how to use the Mon correctly. And Trev, I understand, this time you came through the hacks, but you weren't able to hack some out this time. Don't worry, there's always still playoffs and everything like that. But I really didn't want to go too in depth into the match, because if you guys do want to see all the matches, there is a playlist that we will link in the description below. Definitely go watch out everybody's matches in full depth. Zazo, is there anything you want to say about this match before we end off this quote-unquote episode?
Bro, Toronto Star Raptors went Super Saiyan, Ginger Super Saiyan that match. Dude, that was sweet. And he he definitely came off of a salty loss in the finals. And he had to show, I am the dominant one in this league. I'm the real king, not Trev. And so he came back and he showed everything that what he was made of, and came up with the win. So very nice win from Jolts.
All those insert dominance plays that he did. Oh man, now that's a bonus.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Man, just bop, insert dominance. Jolt, stop. Okay, maybe this might be the one season that you win, but you might get hacked out by either Cheese or Trev. So,
I actually expected Jolt not to win another game, man. Jolt, you're a one-hit wonder. This was your one game. You're gonna lose the rest. The ginger hair isn't enough.
You like Wonder Bread, man. You were there once, and now you're gone.
All right, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this weekly recap of Week 1. Definitely very enjoyable matches. Very excited to see Week 2. Thank you for joining me, Hobo.
Oh yeah, I joined you obviously, because I'm only here because they offer food and I'm hungry.
I'm here for the big booties. But yes, so thank you everybody for watching, and we're signing out. Till next time. Peace.
And that's it, folks. Alright.